What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning, or really, it's not even new news, okay? This is news that people didn't realize. And this is about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, does people understand that Deontay Wilder could be, right now, to this day, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? I want people to understand that could have been a reality. And what certain people don't want you to know and understand is that how easy that could have been for him. Look at Wilder's career as a whole. Wilder's career consists of a lot of fights. He has a lot of fights, a lot of knockouts, because he has just as many knockouts as he has fights. That's credit to his power, not his skill, because he quoted from Deontay Wilder, "When you have power, you don't need skill." That came out of his mouth. And like I said to you guys, you can hate it or love it. I don't care for it, but you gotta respect it. Why? Because you can't prove him wrong yet. Because everyone that comes in that he fights that has whatever level of skill can't overmatch his power. Okay? Now, has he fought everyone? Hell to the no. That's not the point. The point is, Deontay Wilder could have fought Joshua. He could have fought a guy that was promoted the right way, that collected the belts in a daring way. He could have did some sort of unification himself, which that never happened, people. He has never went to unify anything. He had the WBC for the longest. He has 10 title defenses. Why in those 10 title defenses? How many of the mandatories were in those 10 title defenses? That's what you ask yourself. How many? Not many. Okay? So you were fighting a lot of voluntaries. You were fighting a lot of people that were handpicked. But fighting one fight to be undisputed is easier. Now, I understand that he has an interest of fighting Ruiz because it's some kind of corporate, it's some type of corporate negotiations, an agreement, preference, rather. That's the word I'm looking for. Because he prefers to fight Ruiz because of a lot of reasons. You know, it's mostly with Matchroom and, you know, PBC Fox. They're like Nike and Reebok, and they would really prefer to fight Ruiz, you know. And my thing is, if Ruiz beats Joshua and he fights Ruiz, that is a way of Deontay not really facing his own demons, you know. But let's look at it like this. Let's look at it another way. Deontay Wilder isn't really all to blame. And I keep telling people this. And then I'm going to tell you who is. It's Shelly Finkle, right? Go back to unifications. How many unifications did he unify? None, right? But to his credit, why couldn't he unify? Because his manager did not want him fighting Klitschko. But why do you think that is? Let's be real. Why do you think that Shelly Finkle did not want Deontay Wilder to fight Klitschko? Sure, you could say because of the sparring facts, not rumors. That happened. Wilder went down 3 times, at least 3 times, against Klitschko in sparring. Klitschko was too powerful for him, right? And you could say that, but I think for coming from a management standpoint or a manager standpoint, Shelly Finkle did not want his 2 fighters, because he managed both fighters. He managed Deontay Wilder, which is the less experienced fighter. Then he managed the legend, right? Vladimir Klitschko. So he managed both fighters. And if you know anything about Shelly Finkel's boss, Shelly's boss is Al Heyman, right? So that would not go, that goes against the Al Heyman plan. Okay, Al Heyman does not like to take his two best fighters and fight them unless it's been a long time coming. And in that diversion, they were expecting Joshua to lose to Klitschko, but he didn't. Okay, that's why Joshua got the opportunity to fight Klitschko, because Shelly Finkel didn't want both of his fighters fighting. He didn't want Vladimir fighting Deontay because he managed them both. So if he managed them both, it's better for them to fight someone else. Well, the other problem is Deontay Wilder couldn't fight Charles Martin because he was another PBC guy. So they had a champion over there with Charles Martin, and they had Deontay Wilder, which was a champion also. Then you had the legend that got upset by Tyson Fury, okay? But that's soon to change because Tyson Fury's out and Vlad's about to fight Joshua, which was a young guy, an inexperienced guy. He's a gold Olympian, but he's not going to handle Klitschko, right? And it almost worked to Shelly Finkel's favor. And it wasn't an ingenious plan. So at the end of the day, a lot of people are pissed at Shelly Finkel, but he did what a manager did according to what his boss told him to do. His boss told him, you're not putting these two guys together. That's why he said, okay, Deontay Wilder is our baby champion. We're not going to throw him in there with that, because he knew what Deontay was up against. He didn't want to put that type of pressure on Deontay right then. Why? Because he was managing both fighters, you know, and other things. Sure, he wasn't confident in that. But I think the main underlying thing is, the factor is, he knew that if I'm managing both fighters, it would be better for me to have those two fighters fighting other people. That's why he was so quick to make Joshua Vlad, okay? So that's what that was, okay? Where did that leave Deontay Wilder at the time? You know, it left him high and dry, you know, so, you know, because it left him no room to grow at that point. So he constantly kept fighting the guys, you know, that he's been fighting, that he continued fighting until he did get an Ortiz fight. But the only problem is with that, you know, Shelly Finkel then start using the brain. It's like pink in the brain. Shelly Finkel then start thinking, okay, well, I won't match Deontay with Vladimir Klitschko. But what I will do is, Tyson Fury's coming back, right? Tyson Fury ain't fought in a long time. And then he's calling out my boy Deontay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to match that fight. So I would avoid the Vladimir Klitschko fight. There's no reason to fight Vladimir Klitschko because Joshua took him out. But if Tyson Fury also took out Vladimir Klitschko, why don't we just fight Tyson Fury right off the couch? Well, he did have 2 tune-up fights. He did. But, you know, you really can't prepare for Deontay anyway. You know what I mean? But he did have 2 tune-up fights, but a lot of people thought that he was just too far gone. And of course, Shelly Finkel and, you know, and friends jumped on that opportunity. Why? Because he was the guy that beat the guy that Shelly Finkel refused to fight with his other champion, which was Deontay Wilder. So it makes sense. I'm not going to put Klitschko in there with Wilder in there with Klitschko, but Tyson Fury beat Klitschko. Tyson Fury's making a comeback. He ain't ready yet. Let's jump on that opportunity because nobody's beat Tyson Fury yet. But what blew up in their face, once again, just like the Anthony Joshua situation, it didn't go the way they thought it was going to go. That's why we have a draw. That's why that's one of the reasons they're having a rematch. But I think the rematch is a diversion because they wanted to avoid the Joshua fight, because they were looking at that fight being that cash out fight for Deontay. Because what happens if Deontay would have got sparked out? Of course, we know Joshua lost, but they were thinking, what if Joshua beats Deontay? What do we really have at this point? You know what I mean? And then they already had a network switch because DAZN wanted to buy Deontay for 3 fights. That's basically what it is. You know what I mean? So it's real. That's what it's about. And it all comes back to Shelly Finkel trying to, pull the strings and see what he should do at this particular point in time. That's why now it's like, okay, it's better to fight who? Ruiz instead of fighting Joshua. That's why they're rooting for Ruiz. Come on, Ruiz. Win. Because they know they can make a fight like that. And due to the style, I feel, it's easier for Deontay to beat Ruiz because Deontay's a tall guy anyway. So a lot of people he's really not accustomed to fighting is people his own height. So he's kind of different from other fighters. Like Joshua don't like to fight shorter guys. Neither does Ruiz. Okay. But Deontay, he's good at it. Ain't spoke about Ruiz's height. So he's good at customing, punching downward because he's so tall. You see what I'm saying? Just like Tyson Fury. These guys are tall, they're accustomed to fighting guys short. Some guys that are tall has a little man syndrome. I used to have that syndrome. You have to get out of that mindset, especially if you grow up with a bunch of short people, right? But that's what I feel is happening in this situation, okay? Because why fight Vladimir? Difficult fight. Same management. Then again, why fight Joshua? Another difficult fight, iffy fight, different management, rival management, right? So it's better to avoid those type of fights and then fight Ruiz rather than fight Joshua and then give Joshua all that power because Joshua knows, according to what he banks, what his net worth is, what he earns, they won't be the A side and they know it. So to save face, it's easier to fight Ruiz also for that reason. Okay. So they don't have to worry about, because they'll want 50-50. It's hard to give someone 50-50. It goes back to the economics of the whole ordeal. Why would you give Deontay something that he's, first of all, never had? Why would he expect to get something he never had? Based on what? Based on what he was getting before. He got $3 million. We don't really know what the total pay-per-view is, right? We don't know that yet. And something tells me it's going to be a minute. I hope not, but, but he got a guarantee of $3 million. Ortiz 1.5. So you want that tight. You want $50-60 million, which you were offered that amount of money at one point. But then you were only getting this realistically here at your home, with your promotional company. They give you a certain amount of money. So my thing is, why be greedy? And that's the first thing that stuck out at me when all this argument began and, started. Like 12 million ain't enough. Damn, Ruiz is getting 13, so he's getting $500,000 less than what they first offered Deontay Wilder, which he called, of course, slave wages. So, it's going to be difficult in that situation also. That's why another reason I think that's not going to happen, because of the egos and the networks and the power struggle between those two promotional companies and networks. So, but anyway, that's my counterpunch on that, guys. I wanted to share that with you to give you another insight, another perspective, another counterpunch on why things happen and for what reasons. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.